Next up, we have Burning Sands by Boom Kitty from the Beat Saber OST 3. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, all that good stuff. At the time of recording, we just hit 3,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for 3,000 on YouTube. Insane. Insane. It's amazing. Thank you, everybody. Two disclaimers. Number one, this is my first time hearing this ever, so I will be pausing a lot, as I will be pointing things out as I hear them or as I realize them. And number two, this is recorded live on stream on a single take. So I might stumble upon my words. Whatever happens, happens. Chat hands. All right, with that being said, let's do this. Let's do this. Burning Sands. Thanks for hanging out, watcher. Okay, so we start with a very cool, very quick build-up. And now we start with this, I think it's called a Zitar? This like Egyptian sounding, of course this looks like very Egyptian themed sounding instrument, giving us our motif. Very simple motif, but oh my god, it's working. The motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And in this case, this type of motif is called a neighboring tone. Neighboring tone. This is an upper neighboring tone. There are two types of neighboring tone. Upper neighboring tone, lower neighboring tone, well, three technically, and then double neighboring tone. This is an upper neighboring tone. So when it comes to the music, you can go up a scale, down a scale, up a chord, down a chord, that kind of thing. So in this case, this motif, we have this note, then we have one note above it, and then we go back to the first note. And that is our motif, giving us this really, really cool shape, kind of like a pharaoh staff. Really, really, really cool. And the next thing we did, after having our neighboring tone motif, we engaged in what is called sequencing. Sequencing is when you take your motif and you repeat it, but you repeat it from a different point in the scale. In this case, we went down. So we went from here to here, now we're going from here to here. The same motif, the same idea, the same rhythm, but we just changed where it is in the scale, and that gives us space for developing our melody further. Let's see where this goes. We've got some percussion as well in the background. Yeah, I think you can tell this is kind of like Egyptian desert themed. Not entirely Middle East, though. Not entirely Middle Eastern. This seems to be like very much Egyptian themed, which there are a few differences between that stylistically, and most of it is going to be instrumentation, and there are a couple of aspects of the scale that you're going to have that are going to distinguish this from this, because it's very different to have what's it called? American Wild West desert music from Egyptian desert music, from Middle Eastern desert music, from African Sahara desert music. All of these, or Mexican desert music. All of these will have a very different set of auditory requirements in order to be able to fit the theme. And in this case, our theme seems to be very Egyptian-based. So we are having these instruments which are more common in those areas of the world. Yeah, no, then there's also like the Chinese steppes, the Mongolian steppes, which are technically deserts as well. So yeah, there's a lot of different ones, and each one of those will have different requirements auditorily, both in instrumentation and in whatever scales, rhythms that you're playing to be able to fit them. And one of the things you need to understand about music is that unlike other mediums, because in the case of film, how do you portray a desert on film? You go to a desert and you take video of the desert. Or nowadays, you just computer CGI generate some desert. If you want photography, the same thing. If you want painting, you paint a desert. If you want literature, you describe a desert. You actually put into words the different aspects of the desert. It can be as detailed as you want. But how do you do that in a medium that is entirely based on nonverbals, or mostly based on nonverbal sounds? In this case, entirely nonverbal sounds. How do you do that? Well, you have to rely on other aspects. You have to draw this picture using entirely different textures, different instruments, different rhythms, and just overall finding the vibe. It's one of the more difficult things when it comes to video games and music and film music as well. This art is called scoring. Video game scoring, film scoring, that kind of thing. Phrygian scale can work. Phrygian scale is just one of the variations, one of the modes of the scales that can work, but it's not always going to work because the Phrygian scale is most likely going to land you closer to Middle Eastern music than it is Egyptian music. So you have to be very, very careful on which scales you use, which instruments you use, which is the art of scoring. And right now, so far, so good. Let's see where it goes. Put some violins there. And there we go. Now we are having a melody here that is usually used for Middle Eastern deserts. Right here, when I said it's difficult, it's pretty difficult. These scales are usually used for Morocco, for Iran, for Syria, for the Arabian the Arabian kingdoms. Not so much for Egypt. There is some overlap that you can use, but in this case, I would say you're dancing very close to the edge here. So let's see, the Phrygian scale is used to portray foreign things, actually very Western. Yeah, very much so. All right, let's see where it goes. Ooh, nice. And now we are having it's not a reduced version of the motif. We bring in the original motif with, the techno, like the electronic music aspects to it. But now, instead of letting the notes play out in what is called legato, we are now doing staccato. Staccato, which the first melody, you could hear the whole thing playing all the way through every single line. And then, now we're going staccato, which is short bursts. We are basically doing short bursts of the moments where things change, keeping the overall shape, but now it's basically just a dotted outline instead of being the whole melody, which is usually the difference between staccato and legato. And of course, we are building the electronic stuff. So Boom Kitty songs are usually drum and bass. There you go. So I can't blame Boom Kitty for going desert. We usually think, when it comes to, that side of the world, we usually think of Middle Eastern desert. So we go for that scale. That was used. And there we go. You just call it a day because, it's close enough. So, yeah, let's see where it goes. Oh, really cool. It's a little bit more sped up. Now we have the drums going. All right, and now we bring another variation of the motif. We bring a better variation. It's a little bit. It's a couple more notes. Okay, I see what's going on. So this new version of the motif is two parts. So we have the first hook, which is the same part, sustained note. We bring up, we come down, and immediately we cut this, and we do an inverted version of that second part. Inversion is when you take a melody or something and you flip it upside down in this case. And what we're doing here is that it results in this shape of the melody, which is what we're getting right now. It's an extension of the motif using the motif. Very good. Let's see where it goes. Oh, really cool build. Oh, we didn't drop the beat. we teased the whole female vocal that you usually get for this kind of desert music, that you get some woman or some person singing those scales very, very loudly in the distance. And instead of letting that soak in, we just go do it yourself. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do those. I don't know how to do those. So yes, no, we're having these, and instead of slowing down, we are speeding it up, and we're bringing it towards the electronic music dropping off the beat, which is it's a pretty good twist. It's a pretty good twist. Let's see where it goes. Look at that. Oh! Okay, so we have our dropping off the beat. And when it comes to electronic music, dropping the beat is one of the most free things you can do. You don't need to worry about motifs. You don't need to worry about structure or anything. You just do whatever sounds cool. And in this case, we're not completely forsaking our theme and our motif. We are using that second half of the extended version of the motif that we had not too long ago as a way of linking the repetitions together. Very, very creative way of using and very efficient way of using your own material that you just presented to us very recently to glue together the dropping off the beat and highlight more of what you're already doing. So this is very, very good. So here we go. This sounds a little bit unusual. Sounds a little bit, yeah. There you go. And we're getting moments where those motifs, we get to revisit those motifs once. And we have a moment of a tutti. So, when it comes to an ensemble and in music in general... Oh, wrong button. I meant to press this one. So when it comes to these, we have the concept of tutti. Tutti means everyone. And in this case, everyone played the same thing. The synths, the rhythm, everything played the same rhythm and the whole thing. And it's a very, very cool way of either transitioning or ending different sections. And in this case, it gave us a transition. I'm going to go back a second or two so that I can catch what else goes there. Okay, and now we bring a variation of that other scale. We are filling it up a little bit more so that it doesn't feel as Middle Eastern-y anymore. It goes back to feeling a little bit more Egyptian with those instruments while having that more drum and bass-y electronic sound. Very cool mix between the two. It's very, very good mix. A pretty good balance, I would say, because achieving this kind of balance in this kind of fusion of genres is tricky. It's tricky because you can't lean too much towards one or too much towards the other one because you want to be in between the genres. So I would say I like this. I like this. Let's see where this goes. And we're having the variation of the motif. And now we are repeating this, but there's a synth high above giving us a slower melody, which I think might be an elongated version of the motif. So elongation in music is when you take something and you make it last longer proportionately. So a phrase that would take 1 second now takes 5. That kind of thing, right? So... I can't hear a difference. I thought Middle Eastern and Egyptian would sound the same. They don't. And that is one of the pitfalls, one of the traps that we have, because they are so close, geographically speaking, that there's a lot of overlap. And therefore the sound is going to sound very familiar. But yeah, if you go to Egypt and you go to a street musician playing a traditional Egyptian music and you say, "Oh yeah, this sounds Middle Eastern," yeah, you're gonna get beat up. So it's one of those things that the differences can be subtle. They can be very subtle, and it's usually more of an instrumentation kind of thing. And yes, a lot of the overlap comes because of the Arabian kingdoms that have existed in the area in general. However, the traditional ancient Egyptian history that we have, that is not Arabian, that's Egyptian. So there's that big difference going on over there. It's still difficult to catch. It's still difficult to catch if you don't know what you're looking for. Which, movie Egyptian and movie Middle Eastern is its own thing. Yeah, they have their differences a lot of the time, and it can be tricky to figure out. It can be tricky to figure out, especially if you're doing a fusion like this one, because the problem is a lot of Egyptian stuff relies a lot on percussion, but the percussion here is the drum and bass. So yeah, that's gonna be an issue that needs to be resolved. And so far, I think Boom Kitty has found a good balance. So yeah, the concept of elongation, slower version of whatever motif you're having. The opposite of elongation is reduction. Reduction is when you take a something, you make it faster. Elongation, you take something, you make it slower, and that's basically it. And this elongation is starting to do what I like to call a flying melody. It's a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial means there's no official academic term for it, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. And a flying melody is you have the drums, the bass, the middle ground, the middle section, whatever it is, giving you all the groove, all the stuff, and then high up above, you're having another melody that is slower, simpler than everything else, usually legato, and it's just flying on top of the whole thing, the landscape that you've built. And that is kind of what we're getting right now, except this melody is very quiet. It's very much in the back. It just got introduced, and it's a lot slower. Let's see where it goes. Nice. Extended version of the melody we have. And there you go. And once again, we're having that percussion, those traditional instruments. Ooh. And we introduce some orchestral elements to go along with this. We introduce some orchestral percussion and a little bit of what sounds to be trombones and tubas, giving us a little bit more accents there. It's we've gone from trying to sound traditional to trying to sound cinematic, which, yeah, it's a good development. It's a good development for this. Let's see where it goes. Very cool. And by the way, the brass instruments here are giving us accents. So accents in music, once again, accents are not to be able to tell more or less where somebody is from. It is for accentuation. And in this case, we are getting highlights of the rhythm with these brass instruments, these trombones, these tubas. They are highlighting rhythm. Because you can hear the last note of the bar, the first note of the bar, ba-bum. Ba-bum. While the rest of this is having a completely different rhythm, but those accents give you this sense of pace, and in this case, of like some sort of giant stomping, something like that, right? So very, very cool when it comes to accentuation. Very well made. Like, I would say there was a little bit of a weak part back there when we first introduced like the desert melody over there. But you can't overlook that. This just sounds cool. So let's see. And there's the violins doing the thing again. So yeah, this is very much on that gray area between sounding Egyptian, sounding Middle Eastern. It's very difficult to tell once you introduce the orchestra, especially right now that the violins are doing a doubling of the melodies that were being played. Doubling is that you just have more than one instrument playing the same thing. In this case, these violins. Let's see where it goes. All right. There we go. We're building up again towards another drop. Let's see. Oh, we muffled everything. Okay, so we bring in another synth, we muffle everything, and we're just bringing forth more. Oh, this is really cool. Let's see where it goes. Okay, we're building up the tradition. There you go. Again, we dropped the beat. We brought in something completely new. It's not related to any of the material we've done so far, rhythmically, harmonically, melodically, but it sounds cool. And that's all that matters. It sounds cool, so it stays. That is one of the things in electronic music. It's dropping the beat. In metal, it's breakdowns, and in general, solos. Those are the three parts where you can do almost anything you want, and as long as it fits, it fits. Let's see where this goes. Oh, it's good. Oh, we're starting to have those instruments coming back. And there we go. We now bring in the melody again. Variation of those motifs. Really cool. That synth again, giving us that flying melody. Alright, how are you gonna end this? Because this is outro time. We do a quasi tutti. We finish it off with one last chord. And there we go. Dude, this was awesome. This was awesome. Like, yes, there was a point in, like, there were a couple of points here where, oh, this didn't sound as Egyptian as it did Middle Eastern. It didn't sound as Egyptian as it did, like, Arabic. But who cares? It sounded cool. And, yeah. No, it's burning sands. It didn't say it's burning Egyptian sands. So yeah, no, it worked. It worked. Really, really cool stuff, man. That was really good. So there you have it. Burning Sands by Boom Kitty from the Beat Saber OST number 3. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, once again, thank you for 3,000 subs on YouTube. I really appreciate it. It's awesome. I was not expecting to reach this much this fast, so thank you. And if you're watching, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, all that good stuff. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it down in the description below. If you want to request songs, if you're on the live stream, you can start requesting. If you're not on the live stream, you need to go to the Discord server, which is linked down below. Go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions on the pinned messages. So, then we have, what else we got? If you want to join the Discord, if you want to... Man, my brain! If you want to catch the streams when they happen live... We aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you want to know what time that is for you, we have the Discord and the Twitch. They both have this full stream schedule up to date in your local time zone, link down below. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel where we put the gaming after show VODs when they happen. Games are Basterd, YouTube link down below, or just search for the user. It's the same as James R. Basterd, just replace the J with a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. That was Burning Sands by Boom Kitty. Really, really good stuff, man. Really, really good. But yeah, let's move on.